Okay guys, in today's video we're just going to start out with a couple of tips and tricks, and then it kind of moves on to some heating season safety items and recommendations. So hope you guys enjoy this video as we head into this winter time. These are some good things for you to keep in mind of. If you know it already, it's just kind of a refresher for you, but hope you enjoy the video, and yeah, it's all about safety. Alright guys, I'm going to show you this little simple fix for freezing drains on condensing furnaces, on 90 plus furnaces. And I came up with this probably about 10 years ago on a way to get a customer's heat back on without having to go out on a service call if you're too busy to do it. You just can't get to them in time, but you need to get their house warm. So you get a 90% furnace here, right? Let's say the PVC drain goes into a pump, condensate pump, right? And then your vinyl tubing is going outside, or maybe it even converts to PVC. That'll still freeze, you know, under extreme conditions. So let's do a condensate pump scenario. So let's say you got your vinyl tubing going out. So what you can do is you can convert your tubing to a, you can get one of those 3 barb tees, right? And you can convert the tubing to 3/4 PVC, and they make the 3/4 PVC valves. Just get the adapters at Home Depot or whatever, build it, and you can have a valve here and a valve there. Leave this one open and this one shut under normal circumstances. But let's say the customer calls you and says their line froze up, right? So what they can do is they can shut this valve off, turn this one on. What they need to do though is switch their power off, turn the valves, and then switch the power back on. That'll get their heat going. You know, 5-gallon bucket, that'll get them going for the night or a couple days, or however much condensation that the furnace is making, and that'll get them going. Be the same scenario. If you had just a PVC drain going all the way out, you could just tee it and put a valve going down into a bucket, and have a valve going outside. You just switch the valves, cycle the power so the you know, the error code goes away, clears the code in the furnace, and that'll get their furnace back going for them. Real simple solution. You know, a lot of people have issues with their 90 plus furnaces freezing up. Yeah, they're gonna freeze. Let's say there's just no way to eject the drain into an interior drain somewhere. It has to go outside. You know, on a slab basement or something. Let's say in the washer dryer's upstairs, you just can't get a drain up there, you know, to the washer drain or to any sink or anything. So this is a solution for that. We'll keep your customers happy. And you know, when you're doing these installs, you know, you put this in there, and you just let them know what they need to do when it freezes up. Really easy to do. If you guys want me to show you exactly how to build this and how I do it, I'll do a mock-up and show you at some point. But I just wanted to show you this real quick. I was thinking about it as we head into this winter. Okay guys, another little tip as we head into the winter time is you know, how to do your drip legs properly. I've showed you this a few times, but you know, we're heading into the winter, so I want to keep going with these little tips so you guys are doing stuff right this winter. I'm not in gas area really. It's mostly electric where I'm at, but I do occasional gas piping. You need to have your T do a change of direction, okay? And your drip leg here, in my jurisdiction, has to be at least 4 inches long. What you want it to do is have somewhere for that sediment to drop. It's called a dirt leg. It's not called a drip leg. It doesn't drip. It's a sediment trap. So you need it to change direction, so the stuff will fall through there, and then your gas will continue to flow without all the sediment in it. If you do it this way, the sediment's going to pass right by. It doesn't change direction. The velocity of the gas will just push the sediment. It'll get into your gas valves, and it's going to cause you problems. So that's tip number 2 for today. Let's see if we can find some more for you. Okay guys, tip number 3, dampers. So it's the change of the season, right? So as things start getting colder outside, you know, we may have our flow split between upstairs and downstairs in a home. And make sure you see if they have dampers. If they don't, that's a good chance for an upsell. Or I wouldn't call it an upsell, I call it a necessity. If their upstairs and downstairs ducts are flipped, what you want to do is you want to balance it out and get more airflow downstairs, you know, as heat rises. So you know, adjust your dampers between your upstairs and downstairs on your duct system if possible. I have dampers on mine. You know, mine's a zone system, so you know, I want to get a little bit more flow downstairs in the wintertime because I'll just be cooking upstairs. And then also on your dampers as well, you know, if somebody has a humidifier installed in their home, make sure you open that damper back up if it's been shut for the summertime, because they're going to need that humidity during the wintertime, cold, dry air. So a couple damper tips for you. Okay, guys, another tip, you know, as you'll be installing a lot of PVC pipe for your 90% furnaces is, you know, we use a lot of this rain or shine stuff. I really like this product, but you should only use it, sorry about the fingers there, you should only use that on your 3/4 PVC. For your vent piping, for your condensing furnaces, you know, 2-inch, 3-inch pipe, use the proper purple primer to prep and soften up your joints, and then use your, you know, I don't have the clear stuff here, but use your proper all-purpose clear PVC glue on top of that, and make sure that your primer does not dry before you attach these. So, you know, you want to primer the outside of the joint here real good, and then the inside of your female fitting, your elbow or your coupling or whatever it may be. Don't use just the blue stuff. It'll dry out over time, and it doesn't weld these together. You know, on this larger stuff, you need to use the purple primer or a clear primer. Just use a primer to soften up this pipe real good. While it's still wet, apply your glue, and you know, give it a good quarter turn if you can, and you won't have any leaks. This stuff will leak over time. It'll dry out and leak on you on this larger pipe. Another tip for you as we head into the winter time. So keep yourself like a one-man band like me. I keep 4 of these little electric heaters to give to customers if I cannot get to them in time to get their heat going, or to replace their furnace. You know, if the furnace isn't working, if I have a part I have to order, let's keep our customers warm. Let's keep them happy. So I like these little, you know, this is just the brand Polonis, but I like these little oil-filled little radiators is what I call them. They plug into the wall, 120 volt outlet. Keep your customer warm until you can get their forced air system going for them. So that is very, very, very important. Everybody should have temp heaters they can give out in the wintertime. All right, some of the things you should never do. Number 1, do not bypass safeties. So there have been some guys that I've known that have been in the trade for at least 30 or 40 years, and I've seen them. They think it's okay to bypass safeties, especially high limit switches, and you know, he's been lucky if he's been doing it that long and hasn't harmed anybody, burnt their house down or whatever. Do not ever bypass safeties, ever. Don't put the wrong pressure switch in. There's a reason why these things are in that piece of equipment. So, but the main thing is, do not bypass safeties. Don't bypass rollout switches, high limit switches, anything that'll cut the unit off if it's not operating properly. I like to be able to sleep at night, so do not do that. Do not plug gas orifices. Do not. That's another thing that was very rampant, especially when I was working in the big city, was, you know, and it was worse when a customer, let's say, had a really high cooling load and their heating load was less. So what the guys would do, so they get the blower size, is they were putting oversized gas furnaces in to get the blower size, and then plugging, or, you know, let's say it had 4 of them, each of them were 20,000 BTUs, they'd plug one of them because it would put out too much heat. Big no-no. And I've seen it. They wouldn't even use an actual plug. They would use RTV silicone. Do not do it. Do not plug orifices. If you need that blower size, you know, there's ways to get around that without having to plug an orifice. Install a 2-stage piece of equipment, something that'll ramp down to match the heat load. You know, disable the 2nd stage, something of that nature. So do not plug orifices. I see it all the time. Do not do it. Verify your airflow and your BTU output. So this one's really easy to do on a gas furnace or even a heat pump. You know, there's formulas. Look them up. How to convert your you know, your furnace temp rise or your electric furnace heat pump temp rise to BTUs. Make sure that it's you know, giving the house the proper BTUs for the load. And obviously you're gonna want to make sure that your temp rise is within specs on your gas furnace. It's on the rating plate of all of them. We have rule of thumbs for heat pumps. Some of them even have charts that'll tell you based on indoor outdoor temps what your temp rise should be in the heating side of your heat pump system. Okay, so always look at all your manufacturer's data and verify all of that. Make sure that you're opening up all your registers. You're making sure that it's getting its total airflow. Make your customers aware of the detriments to closing registers that aren't in use. I prefer them all open all the time, even in the heating side. Just to make sure that we are making sure our equipment lasts as long as it can. And last but not least, the last one I'm going to do today is slow down with a big exclamation point. Everybody's go, go, go when it comes to HVAC and construction in general, but it's very important in the summertime not to hurry. Obviously, you want to do a good job. You don't want to go back to the customer's house, but if you rush through things in the heating side, especially with gas equipment, you could harm somebody. So take your time. If you got a boss that's pushing you real hard, tell them, hey, I want to be able to sleep at night knowing I did a quality job and I did everything safely. If I'm in a rush, I might miss something very important. Make sure you verify your airflow, your temp rise, make sure all your safeties are working. Always check all your safeties in the piece of equipment. Do your combustion analysis. Make sure that it's burning properly, so you're not going to have any issues on that in the future, sooting or carbon monoxide issues in the future. So very important. I'll leave you with that today, but it's all about safety, guys, in the winter time, especially you guys that are doing lots of gas stuff. Safety, safety, safety. Always dot all your I's, cross all your T's, and make sure that you're taking your time and you're doing a full and thorough commissioning and startup of the equipment, and and leave that documentation with your customer. Make sure they know, hey, I went the extra mile. This is what I did, and you have a safe system here. And always let your customers know they need to have a carbon monoxide detector, preferably a good one that you sell them in their mechanical room. So thanks, guys. Oh, and I forgot one other thing, guys, that's very important in the wintertime is that our vehicles get very slippery, ice, even, not just our vehicles, but the walking on the ground. Be very careful. Everything gets a little more slippery or colder. Make sure you're wearing the right protective equipment. Make sure you're being very careful climbing in and out of your trucks. Trust me, I'm guilty of it. I hurt myself quite a few times slipping on ice, just not paying attention. So slow down is the name of the game. Take care of yourself, and let's have a good winter.